My name is Parthasarathi Ghosh. My question has to do with any potential conflict or resolving the conflict between ahimsa and satya. So the truth, by its very nature, is offensive and causes pain. So if that's the case, how do you reconcile the two?
Truth is most important. But you know the old Indian saying, Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, ma bruyat, satyam apriyam. So tell the truth, tell what is sweet. Do not tell what is true but unsweet, which is rough or hard. The principle here is, I think, put best by Mark Twain. He says that I have often seen people who claim to be fond of the brutal truth. They are often more fond of the brutality than the truth. One good way of testing is, if I am fond of telling the truth outright to people on their face, am I willing to take it myself? I've often seen people who tell the truth directly about somebody else. They're often very, very sensitive when it is pointed out to them. When some problem is pointed out, they're oversensitive to it. They can't bear criticism. Often people who criticize others a lot can't take criticism at all themselves. It's the other way around. She's much better. You look at the lives of the saints, they never criticize. Almost never. And if you criticize them, they're often happy. Who are critics? Critics are those who keep you clean without soap and water. That's a saint. They genuinely want spiritual growth. And spiritual growth is always on the foundation of truth. You cannot avoid the truth. Why be afraid of the truth? What can the truth do to you? It can only wipe away that which is bad and sinful and small and false, and leaves you all the better. It's painful, but if you're a spiritual seeker, you're fine with it. If you're a seeker of the world, then you're not fine with it. Because there are things in the world which we want to protect. If the truth comes, maybe I will lose this, or people will be offended with me, or my own vanity is hurt, things like that. So in between the truth and non-violence, truth is always to be preferred. But one must be very careful and gentle with others. The example of the saints is wonderful. Do the saints tell the truth and the brutal truth? They do, only when it is helpful. If you are a disciple, if you have asked them for help, then they will tell. Even then they'll be careful. And then it depends on the nature of the saints. I have seen very senior monks. Some are as gentle as mothers. And very, very, although mothers are not always gentle. But what I mean is, they're very, very gentle people. There used to be these two Swamis, Swami Gambhiranandaji, the 11th president of our order, and Swami Bhuteshanji, the 12th president. And so Swami Gambhiranji, when he was the general secretary, and Swami Bhuteshanji was the assistant. So general secretary of the order is the one who is in charge of all executive decisions and discipline and punishment and all of that. So Swami Gambhiranji was famously a man of very few words, a very serious temperament. Gambhira means serious. One whose bliss is in being serious, being grave and profound and serious. Deep. Gambhira means deep. So he said, if somebody has been scolded, send him to me. If somebody has to be made to understand with affection, send him to that Swami. So that Swami was always extremely gentle, very sweet, very loving. But both people were equally effective in administration and in correcting people. One Swami, you'd be terrified of him. He was extremely strict, direct to your face, no mincing of words. But of course, you are a monk of the order, and I am there for that help. He's doing me a service. Why are you a monk of the order if you can't take some harsh truth spoken to your face? And the other Swami, he's also very effective because of the deep love you feel from that person. You never ever want to disappoint that person. I remember two instances. One was Swami Lokeshwaranandaji, I don't know, some of you have seen him, Swami Lokeshwaranandaji? You have seen. Some of you must have seen. He was in our Institute of Culture, Gold Park in Kolkata. Wonderful Swami. I have seen him. One of the most remarkable things I remember about him is his very sweet smile. He was soft-spoken, difficult to be a person like that in charge of a huge institution. You're an administrator. You have to say tough things and fire people and things like that. And it seems that he would never ever get angry, number one. One monk asked him, I asked one monk who worked very closely with Swami Lokeshwarananda, is it true we have heard he never ever got angry? That monk said, no, he did. I knew he would get his angry when the tip of his nose became red. He was very fair. When the tip of his nose became red, I knew he was very angry. But nobody ever saw it. And this monk asked him once, how do you do it in the midst of very aggravating circumstances? He says, Swami Lokeshwarananda would always look down when he became angry. And he says, I would always consider the earth, how much she puts up with. So, how much of abuse Mother Earth puts up with. And so, his anger would go away. And the way he would administer is through love. In the sense, you wouldn't want to disappoint him. His harshest scolding was, oh, you did this. I didn't expect it of you. And people who have heard that says 30 years, 40 years later, it brings tears to their eyes. And their hands and feet go cold when they remember that instance. They literally feel like sinking through the floor, And so that was his way of dealing with it, affectionately. You've done this. Another one I personally experienced, the monk under whom I was trained, some mistake. So he had asked for a letter which I had not finished. And so he asked me, hey, what about that letter? I was passing by. I was a newcomer. That was 30 years ago. Instead of saying I haven't done it, I said, oh, I'm doing it. Actually, it was false because I had forgotten about it. I said, oh, I just remembered. I'm doing it. He said, stop. Come here. I went into the office where he was sitting. And he just said this. I still remember 30 years ago. I can remember the room, everything about him, his expression, the tone of his voice. If you're going to be like this, why become a monk? That's all. I'd been a monk just 1 or 2 months. I just joined. You're going to be like this, why become a monk? So this is how you deal. Tell that harsh truth, but tell it to the person it will work on, who has asked for your advice and asked for your help. Otherwise not. Now, Krishna, to the Gita, the first thing he tells Arjuna is, you're a fool. You see the Pragyavadanscha bhashase. You speak like a wise person. What do you mean, like a wise person? You're not a wise person. But he says that only in the 2nd chapter. After Arjuna says, after whatever Arjuna is going on saying, Krishna keeps quiet. He smiles. Only when Arjuna says, I'm confused, help me. Tell me, what is the solution? Then only Krishna opens his mouth. The problem with us, we are always ready to open our mouths, unasked for. Ancient Indian saying, the very definition of a fool is one who gives advice unasked for. Okay, so this is how to deal with truth.